In this presentation, I'm going to go over the details of one of my fastest and most profitable flips. I want to share the essence of the deal, meaning going in depth on the following: how I found the property, my planned exit strategy with respect to getting it sold, how I funded the property and the transaction, and the sale process, and the challenges I faced along the way. So when looking for investment properties, I value several characteristics, and those are sports in a school district and vacation destinations. Strong sports in a school district across the board tell me it's a community that has disposable income on hand. They care about their children. This is valuable information because when it shows that the town is being a desirable family community. It helps to begin write your listing on the home itself. Secondarily, vacation destinations, plain and simple, begin to deal with people in a higher economic bracket because they have income for a second home. So this property falls under my primary buying criteria, as Middletown is an ideal family community. They have great school districts, strong sports programs, proximity to New York City, the Parkway, Route 35, the ferry. It's a very centrally located area here. Now, this lead came in through an investor network that I joined. Seller, he was recently divorced. He was looking to unload the property for a cash transaction. He just wanted to leave it as is. Didn't want to do any work. Just kind of wanted to move on into his new home, his new life. And he wasn't interested in listing it via the MLS and going through the hassle. So with respect to my personal buying criteria, it hit that primary target, and we made an offer. Offer was accepted. Moving on. I'm just going through the timeline of the deal because things happen here very quickly. My offer was accepted on February 5th at $220,000. And what I did was I quickly listed the property on the MLS as a coming soon featured listing. Within several hours, I had an offer for $280,000. It was the full cash price that I had it listed at. And this would be a double closing, meaning that it's a simultaneous purchase of real estate involving three parties: the seller, an investor who was myself, and the final end buyer. No work was done. The aim was merely just clean out the current owner's contents and relist it, at the new selling price point. And the sale date was set for the 3rd of March. So just the specs on the house itself. It's a single family condo built in 2006, 2 bed, 1.5 baths. It was in Cherry Tree Village, Middletown. It's got good proximity, like I mentioned before, to 35, the Garden State Parkway, the ferry to New York City, very centrally located area, and sat at just over 1,500 square feet. Now, my exit strategy on this is something was totally new for me. Um, and it was called wholetailing. And that's where the seller, they accepted a cash offer. And really, it was of the type of property that the average days on market within this development, with the 10 past comparable units sold between 2019 and 2020, it was 22 days. So things were going very quickly. That's why I listed it as a coming soon on the MLS. And it meant I couldn't show it to individuals, but it made individuals aware that the property was going to be available. And this strategy honestly worked in terms of marketing. Created a sales frenzy, and within 6 hours, I had a full cash offer on the unit. So that's how I sourced the end buyer, just right through the MLS, putting it as a coming soon. And people were very interested in it. So like I said, it's a very desirable place people want to be. So again, the exit strategy on this was wholesale. The unit was in relatively good condition, somewhat dated cosmetically, but the margins were so thin for me to go in and do any work in terms of painting, changing the floors, cabinets, carpets, that I felt it was just best for me to keep it the way it was and just listen and see how I could do. Looking into the actual funding of the deal, because this place required no funding on my part, there was very straightforward process to get completed. So purchase price, we went under contract at 220 with a 30-day closing. The closing cost, there was no money needed to be put down, but about $2,000 due at closing just to offset junk removal costs for the end buyer and my personal closing costs. Renovation, there was no renovations. Really needed I had to get some smoke detectors and fire extinguishers and carbon monoxide detectors just to get the C of O. Digging into that sale process and the profit margin deal. Again, purchase price at 220,000, no renovation costs, closing costs of 1895, sales price of 280,000, and total profit leaving me at just shy of $60,000 at 58,105. So this transaction represented my first wholesale deal. And as I explained earlier, wholesale transaction isn't quite a wholesale deal. It's not quite your traditional retail transaction. From my analytical perspective, the cost to fully cosmetically upgrade this unit, meaning new kitchen, flooring, paint, lighting fixtures, bathroom remodel, it wouldn't have yielded the ROI I was looking for. So I had to balance two economic paths, and the path of least resistance won here. Deciding factor was the days on market from recent transactions. As I mentioned earlier, the days on market of the past 10 comparable units sold between 2019 and 2020 in the development was 22 days. Recent sales, 514 Clubhouse, 305,000. 375 Clubhouse, 299,000. 284 Clubhouse, 299,9. 192 Clubhouse, 290. So those units all had slight upgrades compared to what I had. So I felt listing it a bit lower from the comparable sense could net the same results in terms of transaction speed. And, to be honest, I was really nervous that this strategy wouldn't work, but I was prepared to do the work if needed and fully execute on the contract with my seller. And after listing as the coming soon, I had multiple offers within 6 hours. I had a full cash offer for the unit with the best contingencies for myself. And the transaction itself was very cut and dry. Quick closing. I had to juggle getting the CO done with the seller still in the unit, but he was a great guy to work with overall. And not every deal is this easy, but it gave me a ton of confidence knowing that I could find multiple ways out of a transaction. It's really given me the confidence in my own real estate business. As always, I want to acknowledge the team that helped me with getting this deal completed. While I did not use a lender or legal services, it would not have been possible without Close Point USA Title Company, and of course my lead generation company who helped me source the buyer on this. So please make sure to follow all my real estate dealings by subscribing here on YouTube and on Instagram and Twitter at Cromarty Homes.